Tucked in the heart of Hollywood is a small vintage garage sale. And in the back, you may notice a refrigerator. The 1970s themed Good Times at Davey Wayne's is creating quite the buzz in the LA bar scene. The venture is another win for the Houston brothers, twins Mark and Johnny, who also own La Descarga, Harvard and Stone, and No Vacancy. When I stopped by for a drink, I learned that the inspiration behind the bar was much more personal. Good Times at Davey Wayne's is their way of honoring the memory of their father, David Wayne Houston.
That's why we did the entrance to the garage, because, you know, when we think about our dad and Good Times, it was in the garage listening to oldies and classic rock and working with him on his car.
The bar's decor resembles the brothers' childhood home.
We had the 70s decor up to like mid-90s, you know, like, or late 90s. I mean, I remember the floral, like, sofa and stuff like that. I think sometimes they're like, oh God, I can't bring over any girls over here because they're gonna say, wow, you guys' stuff is so outdated. And now it's kind of fun and cool. There's the coffee mug that my dad would always drink beer out of, or whiskey, and we'd always ask, hey Dad, let me get a sip of that coffee over there. And he's like, oh no, you gotta get your own coffee, this is mine. Obviously, as we grew up, we realized it's not just coffee, you know what I mean? It's either spiked or it was beer, and it was just a funny thing growing up.
The bar is not only a tribute to their father, but to others who have lost their dads as well.
Through those 2 years that took us to build this out, a lot of our personal friends and family lost their dads.
And what would David Houston think?
He would be so proud and so happy, and he'd probably be here every day. He'd probably be here at 5 in the afternoon, cracking a beer or drinking an old-fashioned with us and just enjoying good times.
Cheers. Cheers to your dad.
Yeah. Here's the Davey Wayne.